Hey friends, today we're making empanadas or empanadillas. There are several ways to make this, but this is Puerto Rican style or Boricua style. And the filling that I'm using today is just ground beef called picadillo. You can stuff empanadas with anything, chicken, savory, sweet, anything you'd like. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So what you'll need is empanada disc. These are homemade, but you can buy these. This is your picadillo, cheese, and then I have a fork here. Okay, next you're going to get your oil ready before we start making our empanadas. You want your oil to be hot, so I've got it on about a 7 and I have it in a pot. You could put it in a frying pan or a cast iron skillet, and you want about 1.5 inches of oil. While we wait for our oil, let's assemble our empanadas. So you will need the empanada dough, the pastry kind of dough. You can either buy this at the store. They're usually called empanada disc, or you can make it homemade, which I have done here, and I will link that video below. So you'll just roll it out, and I just do this just to kind of thin it out just a little bit. And you can see it sticking. You don't want to add any flour to this. After you rolled your disc out, you're going to add about a tablespoon of filling. And then you want to place this kind of in the middle because you want to have enough room to close this. So I'm going to add some cheese. I like mine a little extra cheesy. And then you're just going to fold this over, kind of tuck everything in, fold it over, press the sides down just a little bit, and then press the whole, you want to get the air out because you don't want any air in the inside. And then you take a fork and just go around the edge of the empanada and seal it. Now you can do this 2 different ways. You can use a fork, or you can go around and kind of curl and press it. And then I like to just make sure all that air is out because you don't want it to seep out of the sides. And then I flip it over. I crimp it again all the way around. Here I am just doing it fast. So you can see it doesn't take that much time at all. And look how pretty this is. This is so pretty. And there you have it. So I'm going to do another one with you. Okay, so we rolled out our dough. This makes it a little bit more pliable as well. And then you're going to add your tablespoon of filling. And just be careful. See, I actually have olives in this, so you want to make sure that you don't overfill it. Add your cheese in there. And I like mine very cheesy. And then you're going to push it together. Someone's trying to escape there, but this is actually perfect so you can see it. We want to make sure there's a good seal on that edge. And so I like to push it down, push everything in. And then we're going to just squish it down. I just take my hand and place it on top of it and kind of press just to get all the air out, because you don't want anything to seep out and your filling to seep out when you are frying it, because it will pop on you. And then just take your fork, crimp it all the way around. You're going to flip this over, do the same thing on the other side just to make sure it's fully sealed. And these are ready to be fried. Now, a tip that I like to do is to make all of the empanadas before I fry, because frying them, it needs your attention. They cook really fast. A lot of times I have my daughter in the kitchen with me helping me. And these do not last at all in my house. Usually my sister comes and gets them, my family eats them, so I don't ever have leftovers. And this is a picture I've inserted of my daughter helping me make the empanadas. Okay, so now to fry them, we're going to make sure our oil is hot enough. Take a wooden spoon that doesn't have any coating on it and stick it in the frying pan. You're looking for bubbles. This is hot, but this is what you're looking for. You want to see bubbles all around the spoon. Make sure it does not have any plastic or coating on it, because it will pop on you. It won't have the same effect. You can also take a little bit of flour and kind of throw it in. And now you're ready to fry them. So you're going to gently place them in. If you don't want to use your hand or you're scared of oil, be sure you can use a spoon to place these in. And what I like to do is make sure that that outside round edge is against the pan, and kind of it makes them easier to flip and to just maneuver them around and place them in. And just a little tip, if you are scared of oil, it's because your oil is too hot and it's popping on you. So you wanted a nice little roaring bubble like this. If it's popping, then that means that there is either your oil is too hot or the contents have leaked out. But I just want to show you guys, you see how they are floating to the top? This is how you know that one side is getting done. And you'll see it'll stop bubbling as much, and you'll have this golden color. And see how immediately we flipped it and it started bubbling again? That's how you know it's either ready to be flipped or it's done, is you'll stop hearing that bubbling. And you can hear it now, it's bubbling because we flipped it. Okay, and so now we seem to have gotten a good golden color. I'm going to let this cook about a minute or two, and I'm just going to just flip this so that way you can see what it looks like on the other side and the color. And this is actually perfect. I am going to let it cook on both sides for about another minute. And this looks good right here. You see how it's a nice golden brown color? This is perfect. Now I'm just going to use a slotted spoon here, and I'm going to let some of the oil drip off. And I have a cooking sheet or a baking sheet lined with aluminum foil, and then I have a cooling rack. If you don't have this, you could just put it on a plate or aluminum foil, that's fine. But this just makes sure and assures that all the oil kind of drips off of it. Okay, and I'm just going to grab the second one here. Just let some of that oil drip, and then we're just going to put it right over there. And just let those cool off. And I'm going to fry up two more for you, just so that way you can get a good visual, so you can see, especially now that the oil has been heating and it gets hotter as it goes. And you'll see these just rise up to the top. When you first place them in, they sink down to the bottom, and then they'll rise up as they're cooking. From here, you want to give it about 5 minutes on each side. And also, just to let you guys know, another cooking method is to air fry these empanadas, or you can bake them. I prefer to air fry them, and whether you bake them or air fry them, just brush a little oil on them, just because you don't want the pastry to be thinned out. You want that golden color. So I actually will just take a pastry brush some oil on them, and I let them in the air fryer for probably about 5 minutes on each side. And I'll put the full recipe as well as alternative cooking methods into the description below. And if we haven't met, my name is Jennifer Scott, and on this channel we do all things home, recipes, gardening, and more. So be sure you hit subscribe. That way you won't miss out on any content. All right, and now you can see we're going to flip it, but you see how the oil is just kind of calmed down? That lets you know that it's kind of cooked on the other side. But you can always flip it and peek. And I'm just going to split these two apart here. And we're just going to let them cook about 3 to 5 minutes on the other side and let it get golden. And then these will be done and ready to eat. And also, go ahead and put in the comments and let me know what you think of this recipe. And if you have any other tips or tricks that you do, let me know. I'd really love to know that. But this is actually something that I like to do. Anytime I'm frying something, I try to get all the little bits of cooked pieces out, just so that way I can reuse my oil again and these little bits don't burn. But there you go. We just made empanadas or empanadillas. And these are so delicious and golden brown. They're beautiful. Look how pretty they are. And the crust, you have to make this empanada dough. This is like almost my go-to pastry dough, and I only switch it up for pie crust just a little bit. But look how flaky they are, and it just melts in your mouth. And I'll link below the recipe for the empanada dough as well. All right, I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Be sure to hit thumbs up and subscribe. That way you won't miss any of my content. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.